Hey guys. Alright, so decided just to jump right into the homesteading handbook here. Soil. Pardon Nebula, she's being stupid. Soil and plant nutrients. I don't know if you guys can hear her or not, but it's really annoying on this end. So if you guys hear us yelling at one of the animals, it's because they're either yowling or howling in the background. And whether you can hear it on the video or not, it's really annoying to us, so I apologize ahead of time. Alright, so this is on soil and plant nutrients. I think Mandy went out for a cigarette, so. Alright, here we go. Nutrient management. There are 20 nutrients that all plants require. 6 of the most important nutrients, called macronutrients, are calcium, magnesium, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and sulfur. Of these, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are essential to healthy plant growth, and so are required in relatively large amounts. That's why your fertilizers are made with nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Nitrogen is associated with a lush vegetable growth. Phosphorus is required for flowering and fruiting. That's why your fruit trees and bushes need a lot of phosphorus. And potassium is necessary for durability and disease resistance. Calcium, sulfur, and magnesium are also required in comparatively large quantities and aid in the overall health of the plants. The other nutrients referred to as micronutrients are required in very small amounts. These include such elements as copper, zinc, iron, and boron. While both macro and micronutrients are required for good plant growth, over-application of these nutrients can be as detrimental to the plant as a nutrient deficiency. Over-application of plant nutrients may not only impair plant growth, but may also contaminate groundwater by penetrating through the soil or may pollute surface waters. Excuse me. Soil testing. Test your soil for nutrients and pH is important. Testing your soil for nutrients and pH is important in order to provide your plants with a proper balance of nutrients while avoiding overapplication. If you are establishing a new lawn or garden, a soil test is strongly recommended. The cost of soil testing is minor in comparison to the cost of plant materials and labor. Correcting a problem before planting is much simpler and cheaper than afterwards. Once your garden is established, continue to take periodic soil samples. While many people routinely lime their soil, this can raise the pH of the soil too high. Likewise, since many fertilizers tend to lower the soil's pH, it may drop below desirable levels after several years, depending on fertilization and other soil factors. So occasional testing is strongly encouraged. Home tests for pH, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are available from most garden centers. While these may give you a general idea of the nutrients in your soil, they are not as reliable as tests performed by the Cooperative Extension Service at land-grant universities. University and other commercial testing services will provide more detail, and you can request special tests for micronutrients if you suspect a problem. In addition to the analysis of nutrients in your soil, these services often provide recommendations for the application of nutrients or how best to adjust the pH of your soil. Now, I don't know where our soil levels are, and I am going to have to test it because of the fruit bushes and fruit trees. I'm going to try to, there's still chemicals out there because of the farmer, but I don't really have a choice on where to grow the fruit trees at. So, I don't know, I'll just have to pray for the best. But I'll probably have to, adjust here and there. But I will be testing the soil. And I'll do videos when I do that. Or at least one. The test for soil pH is very simple. pH is a measure of how acidic or alkaline your soil is. A pH of 7 is considered neutral. Below 7 is acidic and above 7 is alkaline. Since pH greatly influences plant nutrients, adjusting the pH will often correct a nutrient problem. At a high pH, several of the micronutrients become less available for plant uptake. Iron deficiency is a common problem, even at a neutral pH. For such plants as rhododendrons and blueberries. At a very low soil pH, other micronutrients may be too available to the plant, resulting in toxicity. Phosphorus and potassium are tested regularly by commercial testing labs. While there are soil tests for nitrogen, these may be less reliable. Nitrogen is present in the soil in several forms that can change rapidly. Therefore, a precise analysis of nitrogen is more difficult to obtain. Most university soil test labs do not routinely test for nitrogen. Home testing kits often contain a test for nitrogen that may give you a general, though not necessarily completely accurate, idea of the presence of nitrogen in your garden soil. At least it will give you a rough idea, or an approximate idea. Organic matter is often part of a soil test. Organic matter has a large influence on soil structure and so is highly desirable for your garden soil. Good soil structure improves aeration, movement, and retention. This encourages increased microbial activity and root growth, both of which influence the availability of nutrients for plant growth. Soils high in organic matter tend to have a greater supply of plant nutrients compared to many soils low in organic matter. Organic matter tends to bind up some soil pesticides, reducing their effectiveness. So this should be taken into consideration if you are planning to apply pesticides to your garden. No, we're just trying to avoid all that. Tests for micronutrients are usually not performed unless there is a reason to suspect a problem. Certain plants have greater requirements for specific nutrients. Sorry. Certain plants have greater requirements for specific micronutrients and may show deficiency symptoms if those nutrients are not readily available. And then they have a chart. And that is on page 57, which we'll get there. Steps for taking a soil test. Number 1, if you intend to send your sample to the land-grant university in your state, contact the local cooperative extension service for information and sample bags. If you intend to send your sample to a private testing lab, contact them for specific details about submitting a sample. 2, follow the directions carefully for submitting the sample. The following are general guidelines for taking a soil sample. First, sample when the soil is moist but not wet. Next, obtain a clean pail or similar container. Then clear away the surface litter or grass, and with a spade or soil auger, dig a small amount of soil to a depth of 6 inches. Go on and place the soil in a clean pail. Repeat steps 3 through 5 until the required number of samples has been collected. Mix the samples together thoroughly. From that mixture, take the sample that will be sent for analysis. And last, send immediately. Do not dry before sending. Number 3, if you are using a home soil testing kit, follow the above steps for taking your sample. Follow the directions in the test kit carefully so you receive the most accurate reading possible. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end this one. The next one is on enriching your soil. Remember I said I was going to break these down so it's not quite as long and ongoing per video. But yeah. So the next one is on enriching your soil and how to do that. And I'm going to get off from here and I will see you guys in a few minutes on the next video. Remember, check your subscriptions, you guys. YouTube, as Doug has said, they're unsubscribing people at an alarming rate. They're having problems. A lot of homesteading channels are having problems. So check those subscriptions. Keep your eye on it. If you're not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and hit subscribe. Click on that notification bell and click on all so you get all the notifications. I personally tend to upload a lot. At least I try to. A lot of information that really needs to get out there, and I know I'm not showing a whole lot in the videos sometimes. I'm trying to get outside and do some outside videos for you guys. But this information is really, really, really important. I cannot stress it enough. Do your research. Get the books. Get an account on Pinterest. Look up homesteading videos. Look up homesteading information. There's billions of it out there. So many. I have almost 8,000 pins on Pinterest. I would love to do all of them. Put all of them on here. Okay? I'd love to. I wish I could get them all done in a day. That would put over 8,000 videos on my channel. But that's not the point. B, it would get the information out there to you guys and show you how much information is available. There's also anything homesteading you can find in a book. A hard copy book. Look them up on Amazon. Most of them are less than $25. They're pretty easy to, obtain, and try to get that hard copy because grids go down, you're not going to have anything electronic. You're going to want that hard copy. Now, Pinterest, you're going to end up wanting to get a binder and page dividers, like the index tab dividers. And you're going to have to, type it all out, print it all out, or write it all down, whatever. And it takes a long time. Less time if you type it out, but it still takes a while. So, anyway, get the information. Do your research. It is so important. I can't stress it enough. Anyway, and then like and share the videos, you guys. Please get this information out there. Share them with friends, family. Share them on all your platforms. Other homesteaders, people wanting to get into homesteading. Just get that information out there. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.